We express our gratitude to you, Mr. President, for convening this informal plenary to receive a briefing on the United Nations Relief and Works Agency for Palestine Refugees in the Near East, or UNRWA. We would like to extend our deep appreciation to Commissioner General Lazzarini for his important briefing, and we salute him and UNRWA for the vital role they are playing in providing services and relief to the devastated and desperate population of Gaza. We are appalled by the killing last week of over 100 Gazans and injuries to hundreds of others as a result of the wanton attack by Israeli occupation forces on desperate people seeking food for survival. This callous slaughter of the destitute illustrates the nature of the catastrophe that has engulfed Gaza and the people of Palestine. Mr. President, the OIC reiterates its unwavering commitment to upholding the rights of the Palestinian refugees, including the right to return, as stipulated in General Assembly Resolution 194 and in compliance with international law. Additionally, the OIC reaffirms its enduring support for UNRWA, to which several OIC member countries contribute generously as donors. We salute UNRWA's role as a critical lifeline for the Palestinian refugees over the past 75 years. We commend the agency's role in providing humanitarian relief to the more than 1.9 million Gazans who have been displaced due to the sustained and ongoing brutal onslaught by the Israeli occupation forces. We pay homage to the more than 150 UNRWA employees who have been killed during this cruel conflict. Mr. President, the OIC emphasizes the imperative need for sufficient, predictable, and sustained funding for UNRWA, ensuring the agency's ability to fulfill its mandate until a just solution is achieved for the people of Palestine through the creation of a viable and sovereign state of their own. This position has consistently received near unanimous affirmation from the General Assembly over the years. The OIC expresses deep regret regarding the decisions of certain donors to suspend their funding to UNRWA and calls for an immediate reconsideration and reversal of such actions. The suspension of funding to UNRWA, a crucial provider of life-saving aid to millions of refugees, including over 2 million individuals in Gaza facing imminent threats to their survival, is a matter of serious concern. The OIC emphasizes that this suspension of funding, ostensibly arising from unproven allegations against a handful of UNRWA's 30,000 staff members, is extreme and inhumane. The entire population of 6 million Palestinian refugees dependent on UNRWA cannot be collectively punished for an unverified allegation against a few. These decisions, unless urgently reversed, pose a significant risk of further exacerbating the already unbearable suffering to which Palestinian children, women and men in Gaza have been subjected. No other entity can substitute UNRWA at this time in providing sustenance and life to the devastated people trapped in Gaza. Mr. President, the OIC calls for decisive action to hold Israel accountable for its extensive and documented human rights violations, war crimes, and crimes against humanity in Gaza and the West Bank. Israel should not enjoy impunity for the mass atrocities it has committed and continues to commit against the Palestinian people, including attacks on United Nations premises, hospitals, schools, and declared safe zones in violation of the UN Charter, the UN Convention on Privileges and Immunities, as well as almost every tenet of international humanitarian law. Israel must be held responsible for its violations and be obliged to pay reparations for the death and destruction it has inflicted in Gaza. Mr. President, the OIC maintains its steadfast position on Israel's military aggression, indiscriminate attacks, and other gross violations of international law that may amount to genocide in Gaza. The OIC strongly demands an immediate and unconditional ceasefire, a cessation of the forced displacement of Palestinians, and the provision of adequate and unimpeded emergency humanitarian assistance to the besieged people of Gaza, facilitated by UNRWA. I thank you, Mr. President.